Welcome to LaTour Retirement Talk. I'm your co-host, Tony Shore, and this is going to be a fantastic show because with us, our hosts are here, Jim Margraf and Josh LaTour, and good times and great oldies right here on LaTour Retirement Talk. The oldie I'm referring to as me. You're the good times. I'm the great oldies because I turned 60 this week. Can you guys believe that? Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Tuesday was my birthday. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Tuesday was my birthday. The whole family, my kids, their significant others, my wife and I, all going out to eat tonight at my favorite Italian restaurant where they make their own homemade pasta and sausage, homemade sausage. Delicious. Delicious. So we've got that going for us, but I don't feel any older.
Yeah, Tony, that's great. You don't feel any older. I wasn't going to say anything about the looks, but
right.
I had a birthday this week as well.
You did?
Yes.
Not Tuesday though.
No.
Oh,
so Thursday.
No.
So, are you going to tell us how old you are, or should I not ask?
52.
52. Look at that. You're catching up to me, buddy.
Never. I will always be 8 years behind you, Tony. Always. Just
yeah.
I'll never be able to catch up.
Yeah. I love how you accuse me of looking old when I have more hair than you do. That's interesting. That's really interesting, Jim. But people always tell me they can't believe I'm 60, and I always say it's my immaturity. It throws people off. Right?
Exactly.
That's a great response.
Yeah. I don't act it. I may look it, but I don't act it. That's what I tell people. So how are you guys doing? Josh, we haven't heard from you. Have you been skiing again, or what's going on over there?
No, I haven't had any ski trips since my last ski trip.
But makes sense. Sounds right.
Yeah.
No, we've been in the office. Of course, last week we didn't record last Friday because we were actually in Kentucky for some training.
Oh, that's right. How did that go?
It was very good. The training itself was fantastic. Unfortunately, I caught a bout of the influenza. Something hit me halfway through, and so the last day it was a little blurry. But apart from that, it was a good trip.
That's too bad. Well, I'm glad you guys, the content was good and the education was good. And you guys are constantly working with other financial professionals and figuring out what's going on over there, updating yourselves so you can help your clients and pass that information along to the people you work with and our listeners and viewers out there. So that's good. Well, we should jump right into it today. I know you guys have a great topic lined up, habits to steal from the wealthy. When it comes to habits, stealing from the wealthy doesn't sound like a good thing to promote here on the show, guys. So I think I called it a Robin Hood situation. What about that?
Well, really, we're talking about adopting some of the habits that the wealthy have used to get where they are. So that's actually what we're talking about. Not stealing from people who have more than you. That's probably not a good financial plan.
But it's a catchy title, though.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's a great title. Honestly, stealing habits from the wealthy. It's not like you're taking anything that they're going to miss. Just utilizing some of the habits they have, how they acquired their wealth, and how they keep it. Right. More about really how keeping what you have and growing it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. I mean, a lot of the wealthy retirees that are out there, a lot of them started from very little.
Yeah.
And so they didn't start out rich necessarily, but they built their wealth over time. Sure. And it took time, it took consistency and forming habits and utilizing them throughout their working career. Right. And that's how they got where they are today. Yeah. So, retirement success, it's less about, luck, maybe being born into the right family, although that can help.
Sure. Yeah, that helps. Sure.
Yeah. But really it's about repeatable behaviors. And that's what we're talking about today.
You mean it's not the lottery ticket?
No,
it's not like winning. I won the lottery or I'm an NBA player. It's not one of those two things. Right.
Yeah.
So So we need to be realistic about it. But even if you are an NBA player or have won the lottery, in order to keep that wealth, no matter how you get it,
that's key, is keeping it.
Yeah. I mean, there's two things I guess we're looking at here: how they got the wealth if they started from nothing. But once you get money, how do you keep it? And that's how they really got wealthy or get more wealth, right?
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, inheritances are a fantastic thing, but in the vast majority of cases, they end up getting blown in a very short amount of time. And some of them are serious amounts of money. It's not just a $10, $20, $30,000 inheritance. We're talking about $500,000, $1 million gets blown very, very quickly because the people inheriting it did not form the right habits before they inherited it.
Right.
So that's the problem.
Key. Yeah.
And so they didn't have the willpower to do the right thing with that money, and they end up losing it all.
A quick interesting statistic here for those that like to play the lottery. When we talk about people that have get those large winnings, it doesn't take very long, but they generally end up in debt about 10% of what they won with all the money gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that awful?
Yeah, it is. It is. And you see that happen to lottery winners and a lot of athletes who get a lot of money, especially at a young age. That's part of it, the maturity to handle that. But you're right. I mean, the majority of big lottery winners end up broke. And that's crazy, even if they win millions. And that's because they don't, the first call they should make is to LaTour. I mean, obviously, or to a trusted financial professional. And that's what you guys do. And then that's a big first step, right?
It is. And, Josh mentioned, start off with talking about it's the habits. And the first one here is saving. We need to prioritize saving some funds and, saving it before spending it. And that's where that 401k comes in. So, those funds go to that 401k before it comes to us, comes from my bank account. But even then, still prioritize some savings, even outside of that 401k. One of the tips here that you can take from something that I do is I have part of my paycheck goes directly to a savings account at an external bank. It's not it's not in the bank with my checking account. It goes to an external bank and it's out of sight, out of mind, and I don't touch it. Right. And it's there to help build up for the things that are coming that I know I'm going to need. And you know what kind of peace of mind that brings, though, when I already know that this year's bills, the insurance bill that I'm going to have later in the year, the tax bill, whatever it is, it's already sitting in an account. It's a high yield savings. It's earning interest for me. Yeah, it's not making a lot in the stock market because I don't want it there, because I don't want to take the risk with it, but I'm in a high yield savings, doing the best I can with it. Right. It's a big help.
Yeah. And I think the importance there is the automation of it.
Yes.
Because that removes willpower. Because my willpower, it's not very powerful, I found.
His willpower goes skiing.
Yeah. He has a will to go skiing.
It goes downhill real fast.
It goes downhill real fast.
Yes, downhill really. Good analogy. I like that. My willpower is like skiing. It goes downhill really fast. So, I think that it's human nature to struggle with that willpower. So you need to put some of these checks in place. And they say, you've got to do something consistently over a certain period of time to develop a habit. So if you can develop habits, and I know this is what you folks, you guys do for the people you work with, but we all need to develop these habits. And if you make something a habit, that way you can stick with it long term. And if you have to work up willpower to do something, you've got to automate it, right? So you're not thinking about it, then it's going to happen, right?
That's exactly right, Tony. Yep. Yeah. So another one of the habits that they have is keeping money moving, avoiding letting just the cash sit and erode value. And Jim just mentioned that. He talked about the high yield savings accounts, looking for what's going to be the best option at the time. Because your money, there are different jobs for different pools of money. throughout your working career and into your retirement. Yep. Not everything is going to be there just to grow as much as possible. Right. Some things need to be there for the rainy days, your rainy day fund, if you will. And that is going to need to be a bit safer. You're going to need to have some guarantees, but with that, you're not going to have as much growth potential. But we still want to look for the best growth that we can get, even on those safer funds. So that's where the high yield savings come into play. And of course, that changes throughout time based on what interest rates are at. There's a lot of factors that affect what those accounts will pay, but you want to get the best bang for your buck.
Right. And you know what? Also, Josh, how much you keep in those is different from one person to another.
Yes, it is.
We have some people where they keep a bare minimum in there. And, when they sit down with us and we're like, well, you may want to consider bumping that up a little bit more. And, sometimes we sit down with someone they've done a great job saving, but they've kept too much in those savings accounts. And so they're not getting the kind of returns that are really going to help them out in their retirement years. So it's a balancing act like everything else. So, how much risk I'm taking and how much I keep in those accounts that are for the rainy days, for the emergencies. It's all a balance.
Right. Yeah. And I like how you guys help people come up with a balanced plan. And, it depends on where your money is at, when you need it, those types of things. And that's what the wealthy do. This is exactly what they do. And we hear quotes. I love all the quotes from Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, considered one of the greatest investors of all time, and he's worked into his 90s investing and very active. But, he says things that, when people are fearful, I'm greedy. When people are greedy, I get fearful. So when it comes to market volatility, which we're all dealing with right now, so you might want to ask, okay, what are people with money? What do they do when there's market volatility? Do they panic and sell, or they don't? So, and that's what you help people do, is take the emotion out of it. That's another thing that the wealthy do, right?
It is. And, a lot of times, Warren Buffett is also famous for when there's blood in the streets, is the expression that he has used. When a company's not doing well, and their stock price is severely depressed and they're going through a reorganization, he buys a ton of shares after having done his due diligence, mind you, on who the new management team is and all of those things. And he'll buy a whole lot of shares of that company. And you know what? It has paid off for him throughout his entire career.
Right.
And it works for us as well. But you've got to do your due diligence on things like that.
Yeah, you do. And I think that makes perfect sense. So what's something else we need to be doing that the wealthy are doing? What other things can we borrow from them?
Well, Tony, let's say that, throughout your working career, you're getting pay increases. So your pay is rising. It's important to still spend intentionally. And that can be a difficult one. It's sometimes a difficult one for me. It's easy to be a bit frivolous if you get a pay increase, but you need to make sure you're spending intentionally, not just throwing good money after bad. And so I think that's a huge thing. And it comes down to that 5-letter word, the budget. Nope, it's a 6-letter word. Budget comes down to
it's a 4-letter word. Well, it's a 4-letter word to a lot of people. Budget,
right.
It's the B word. It's a dirty word, budget, but maybe spending plan.
Spending plan.
A spending plan. Exactly. It's going to come down to that. And knowing where the funds are going, you don't want to be shocked about where you're spending your money. You want to know where you're spending your money, because that's how you're going to end up building wealth.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, keeping track of where the funds are going is really big. And the next one we want to look at is the debt.
Yeah,
especially the high interest debt. I would say do absolutely everything you can if you have that high interest debt to get that paid off. If you've got to take a second job where you're doing something nights or weekends, whatever, do whatever you can to get out of that high interest debt, because that's going against you. right? So it's much better to have interest working for you in those high yield savings accounts, things like, and investments and things like that. But to have it working against you constantly with the credit card debt, it really slows you down and really hampers your ability to get ready for retirement.
Sure. I would say so. And debt is just, it's one of those things, especially high interest debt, credit card debt.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to get rid of it, especially before you retire. But that's something I don't think any person who has gotten wealthy, they've learned to overcome and not. You pay off that credit card. A lot of them use credit cards. They all do,
yes, sure,
but they use it for the points or the benefits, and then they pay it off each and every month, and if they can't, they don't use it.
Right. The credit card, by the wealthy, a credit card is used as a tool. It's not used as a toy like a lot of people use it. And so that's where spending intentionally comes. If you can't pay off the credit card by the end of the month, you're not spending intentionally. That's for darn sure. So that's you got to be careful. You don't want to get into that debt, and then if you do, because it happens, you want to make sure you work hard to get out of it.
Now, I will say this. There are times when life happens, catches us off guard, and so, hey, I have to spend these funds, whether it's a car repair or, who knows what it is, a house repair, something like that. And you have to do it. Don't feel, guilty or condemned just because it happened, because life is going to happen to all of us at some point or another.
Life happens.
But then it's, what do I do next? That's the bigger part of this.
There you go.
And then once I've done that, maybe I need to keep doing what it took to get out of that debt so that I can have some savings, so that if something like that happens again, I'm not caught again. And now I have some funds saved up to shield me against that type of a scenario. So there's some things we can do. It's a lot of hard work on sometimes when it comes to those things.
It is.
And, if you talk to somebody and they say, well, I've never had to do that. Well, you may want to talk to somebody else, because most people in the world have had to do something along that line where they've had to get out from underneath something, a debt type of situation along the way in their lifetime.
Yeah. Well, and I think that having you guys have talked, I know that you really push having some cash reserves or an emergency fund, like 6 months to a year's worth of living expenses to help cover things like a new furnace or auto in case your car breaks down. In that way, you don't have to put that, money on a credit card and let it roll and pay interest on it. So there are things you can do, and I know that's what wealthy people do as well. So that's huge, isn't it?
It is. And, it's not something that's going to happen by accident. We've said it already, but it's going to be a plan.
Right.
And, one of the things that Joe LaTour has said very often, those who fail to plan are planning to fail.
Yes.
And so we know that life is not smooth sailing. No. There are rough spots. And so planning for those things and having the funds set aside for them is planning ahead for those things.
Yeah.
It's worth its weight in gold.
So wealthy people, like you always say, plan intentionally, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think as you approach retirement, I think the planning becomes even more important because now you're getting closer to the time where what you have accumulated is going to be responsible for sustaining you.
Right.
You've been the engine that's generating your paycheck over the last 30, 40 years.
Right.
And now it's time for what you put away to generate that paycheck for you. So you need to have a good comprehensive plan, one that can weather the storms that we have throughout retirement, whether it be the economy, the stock market, downturns and things like that. You need to make sure your plan can weather that because nobody's retirement is going to be linear. There's going to be ups and downs throughout it. So that's important.
One thing, as we were just talking here, that I was thought of, and when we're talking about the wealthy, so many times the image that shows up in our mind is the ultra wealthy, the movie stars, the sports figures, things like that. But the wealthy that we're really talking about here is the millionaire next door, the one who has accumulated a lot, and you a lot of times don't even know it. You may know somebody, and it seems they're driving a 5-year-old car. They're driving a regular vehicle. They're not driving a fancy vehicle, and you know what? They could buy 20 of them if they wanted to. They could buy another house for cash, or 2 or 3. Yep. Do they? No. Like we start off with, they have those intentional habits that they've developed over time, and they don't live that crazy fancy lifestyle because, hey, they have a habit of saving those funds. And, sometimes when we get to sitting down and talking to some of those people, when it comes to retirement, they have a hard time spending some of their retirement funds because the habit of saving is so ingrained into them.
Right. Yeah, it's not like you can't spend money, but you be intentional about it, right? I mean, that's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And honestly, people, we were talking to, we were at that conference this last week,
right?
And one of the advisors got up and was telling a story about his mother-in-law, and all the kids brought him in because he's the advisor in the family to talk to her about spending some of her money because she didn't want to spend it. She wanted to leave it to the next generation. They're like, Mom, we want you to be comfortable. Go ahead and spend some of your money. She was such a good saver. She'd worked so hard at saving that it bothered her to actually spend some of her money in retirement.
It did.
Yep. I have a family member that's like that too, that we had to say, hey, you can't take it with you. One thing you're not going to see is that hearse pulling a U-Haul.
That's right.
You never
right.
Never see a hearse pulling a U-Haul.
Right.
You can't take it with you. Wanting to leave it to your kids or grandchildren, we all want to do that. That's great, but at the same time,
sure.
Wouldn't you rather do that now and create experiences for yourself and for your grandkids while you're living and can enjoy it? I just think that's better. Plus, if you wait until after you're gone, you might be leaving a tax. You're also leaving something to Uncle Sam then.
Yep. Sure. That's exactly what one of the points was that advisor was making.
Yeah. I mean, who do you want to have it? Do you want to have your grandkids have good experiences? I mean, leaving money is one thing, but experiences are what they're going to remember. And that is huge. Plus, you're going to remember that. I mean, that's what's going to make you happy now. And so I think that's really good. Don't blow through it. You work with a financial professional before you go, okay, let's create an experience. I'm going to take all my kids and all my grandkids on a trip around the world. Well, if you don't have that much saved up, you probably, you don't want to run out of money also in retirement. So there is a happy middle ground you got to spend. And I see advisors, I've heard advisors tell their clients, hey, spend some of this now while you're healthy.
Right.
Do you want your grandkids to have experiences now? Do you want to have experiences now while you can enjoy it while you're healthy enough to get around? Or do you want this money to go to a long-term care facility later in life or have it sitting there when you can't enjoy it? So you have to look at things like that as well, right?
Yes, you absolutely do. And that's where the comprehensive plan comes into play, Tony. Is you're planning for the things throughout your retirement. Are we going to need to front end load your retirement a bit and have more money coming in now so that you can enjoy it while you're still young and still feel like doing things? And that's part of an overall comprehensive plan.
Yeah. So what's one more thing that you guys can think of that might be a habit of the wealthy that we can take away and utilize ourselves?
I think aligning your values with your investments with your values and what you're going to be doing in your retirement years, and not just leaving it up to, as we've been talking about spending intentionally, but how about retiring intentionally as well? Maybe, because so much of our life, we have our purpose is built around our work and what we do for a living day in, day out. If we don't have a purpose in our retirement years or something we want to even accomplish in our retirement years, we may just, kind of spend, just here and there and with no direction. And if you're doing something with purpose, it also adds to what's inside. And we don't go through feeling as empty in our retirement years. I have talked to a few that it's been a bit of an issue. And so they had to look a little bit to find a purpose. And once they found the purpose, things actually went a lot smoother and a lot better because they had a direction. And, talking to a financial professional, maybe, helping you with the financial side of it is a great thing. But you also need to make sure that you didn't just live with a purpose in your working years, but also in your retirement years as well.
Well, I think you just hit on one of the biggest traits, and I think we should end here. But what do you guys think of this? I mean, one habit that I see consistently with people I know who have money and have wealth, they all work with a financial team. They're not DIYers. They're not doing it themselves. They have financial services professionals that they work with. They have an advisor, financial advisor, that they sit down with. They have actively managed funds with trusted financial advisors. So isn't that a habit of the wealthy that you were also promoting here? I mean, people need to pick up the phone and give you guys a call, right?
Well, absolutely, Tony. And folks, if you would like to give us a call, it's 417-641-3497. Give us a call today. Let's get a comprehensive plan put together for your retirement.
All right. Well, guys, great show. You both had a lot of great things to add today. I think it's a fantastic topic. Some habits that wealthy people have that we can utilize to keep more of our money or to save more or for it to grow more and have a more successful life and especially retirement. So, listeners, once again, if you have questions, you can go to LaTourAsset.com or call 417-641-3497. That's 417-641-3497. And guys, that does it for today's episode of LaTour Retirement Talk with our hosts, Jim Margraf and Josh LaTour.